Are you high, Rosen? Are you high right now? Because you sound weird, man.
30 days ago, I decided to run and take a swim in the ocean every second day. And when I started this, I had absolutely no idea how it would affect me. So in this video, I'm just gonna walk you through everything that I went through these last 30 days with running and taking a swim in the ocean.
If you feel embarrassed starting out with running, you run by people who see you being all like out of breath, try doing it and also pointing a camera at yourself at the same time.
It's truly been an amazing experience, and I've been so surprised about a lot of the things that I've learned and how it's affected me and how it's affected the way that I look at my future right now. I was never the running type, if you could say that. I've always been like weightlifting, and I thought that that was fun. I've been doing CrossFit, so this was something completely new for me, and that was actually my plan all along. The idea was to do something that I hadn't done before, to kind of experience something new instead of just getting into my old habits. Now, I started off doing it every second day, and that was actually because I thought I don't want to start out overworking myself. I just want to go slow with this and set small, easy goals for myself to reach. So I set a goal of every second day, I run 1 mile and then I swim for whatever time I want to in the ocean, and then I just walk back, and that's it. And then the other day, I would just walk down to the ocean and take a quick dip and walk back. And the beginning was tough. It was tough to start running, but it was also really exciting. It truly helped me doing something new, something that I hadn't done before. And already from the first day, I was kind of getting excited to watch myself progress in this new area of exercise that I wasn't that experienced in. Now, not being experienced in a certain area of exercise also makes it that much more difficult to get into, because it just feels odd. It feels like your body doesn't quite know what to do, and it feels like you're constantly doing it wrong, or your muscles are not following along and your breath is not following along. You're constantly getting out of breath. It feels like your muscles can't take it. There was a lot of pain in the beginning, during the runs and afterwards, and especially the day after. My muscles were so sore the first couple of times. I found that it really helped with the swim in the ocean. That was a big motivational factor for me, that not only do I have to run, but at the end of it, I get to go into the water and have a swim. And it might sound weird that that was kind of a prize at the end, because the water is really cold. It was exciting for me to take that swim in the ocean, just to get outside in nature, get into the ocean, get that cold shock and swim around a little bit. And that made it easier for me to get out the door and start running. So that might be an advice that you guys can maybe use for something. Put a prize at the end of your run, like run somewhere and do something. It doesn't have to be taking a dip in the water. It could be just drinking a cup of coffee at a nice location where there's a nice view or something, where you can relax after your run.
So I'm done with the swim now, and now the freaking sun came out. It has been raining all the way down here, and while I was swimming, and just been gray and cold and raining. And now, once I've done everything that I promised myself I would do, the sun came out. It's almost like I'm being rewarded.
So another thing that I figured out after a couple of runs was that I had to start really slow when I was running. Like, the pace of my running had to be really slow in the beginning, because the first couple of runs I ran a little bit too fast when I began, and I got really tired, so I had to kind of pause and walk for a little bit and then run again. And I found out after like 3 or 4 runs that if I just start out running extremely slow, so slow that it doesn't even really feel like running, your muscles kind of warm up, and it's like your breathing also gets into a rhythm when you feel like it's no problem keeping on running at this pace, because now I'm in this sort of rhythm with my breathing and my running. Then I would pick up the pace just a little bit and then stay at that pace until I felt the same way. Like, I could keep running like this forever and then pick it up a little bit more. And it was really astounding to me how much that actually meant. It was literally the difference between feeling like this is too much, I have to stop, and feeling like I could run like this for hours. And it's really weird how just allowing your body to warm up and to adapt to what you're actually doing just made all the difference in terms of being able to actually run the entire way down there without pauses, and even without feeling like taking a pause. That was like a big victory where I was like, whoa, that's progress. And it was within like the first 3 or 4, maybe run number 5, I was like,
it went way better than the other ones. I can actually run straight down here now. This is about 1 mile down here from my home, and I've been trying to get to this point where I can just run it straight without ever pausing, and I did that the last time as well, but this time I didn't even feel like pausing on the way, so that was a big progress.
And when you start getting those small wins, those small progressions, you really start feeling the motivation to keep going and to keep pushing yourself a little bit every time.
Maybe I should ramp it up a bit. Maybe I should try to run home today as well.
And that's why it's so extremely important to set small, easy goals. Because when you have a goal that's easy to reach and then you reach it, you get that success feeling of, hey, I actually did this. I actually progressed. I actually evolved, I got better at this. And that's a really awesome feeling, and it gets you motivated to just do a little bit more. So that was kind of like the initial feelings of success and progression. But then I also started encountering different obstacles. Pain constantly turned up everywhere. I had pain in my feet, I had pain in my ankles, I had pain in my knees, in my thighs, in my calf, like everywhere on my legs basically. And so today my challenge is that my foot really hurts. And I started fearing like, am I injuring myself? Is this bad pain, or is this just that I'm sore from moving muscles that I haven't really moved in a long time? And I found, in my case at least, it was just my muscles being sore. I think it's important to expect that when you go into something like this. There's going to be pain, there's going to be sore muscles, but it will pass. It takes like a day or 2 and then you're good. And if you start out slow, like I just said, when you start running, you will feel your muscles warming up and it will stop hurting. Another obstacle that came up was sleep. So I made a video about this, but several times I went to bed a little bit too late, and it made it harder for me to go out the door and go out running and swimming. I really realized that if I just stuck to it, if I just showed myself that there's no way around it, you have to run and you have to go in the water as well. And so it kind of became the motivation that I didn't let myself off the hook. I knew I would force myself to do it, and so I also had to force myself to get to bed at the right time. But that was actually a real obstacle. So the last obstacle that I ran into is motivation. Your brain plays so many tricks on you. And if you're not careful, you're not gonna notice it. It's so tricky. Like, your brain will always try to make you do what you're used to doing. So whenever you start doing something new, your brain is working against you sometimes. I think we can all relate to the feeling that there's 2 people inside of us. There's the desire-driven mindset, or whatever you want to call it, that just wants to like eat cake and lay down and relax and play video games. And then there's the more like thoughtful person that thinks about things, that thinks about what is best for me, what is most important, what are my goals, what do I want to accomplish, all of that sort of stuff. And what you're experiencing when you start out with something like this, like running, is that those 2 sides are kind of battling each other. It manifests itself in like lacking motivation, and you have all kinds of excuses for why you shouldn't do it today. Like, for example, I'm tired, I got to bed too late, I'm tired, I'll just do it tomorrow. You can so easily get into that. And then tomorrow maybe something comes in from work or your family. Someone calls you and says, can you help me with this problem? You might not do it consciously, but unconsciously, this desire-driven person inside of you snaps onto that and it's like, oh, there's an excuse. I can use this to skip working out today. And like I said, it's not necessarily conscious. You're not necessarily aware that this is what is happening in your mind, but you gotta be really aware of these kind of things, like outside things that are outside of your control, coming in and disturbing the schedule that you've set up for yourself. Part of you wants that. So you gotta be aware of that. And it's really It's really fucking tricky. It can trick you. Don't feel bad if it does. That's kind of how I thought about it. I was like, you fucker, you just tricked me into not doing this. And then the next time something came up, I was just like, no, I'm not gonna use this as an excuse to not run. I'm gonna get in this run no matter what happens to me today. Today is rough. And I don't know why. I'm just tired. I feel like I slept fine, but I just feel tired. I just don't feel like doing it. I'm not doing it. But I think you've really got to be aware of this. So you've probably noticed that so far in this video, I've been talking a lot about mental things. And actually, that's because working out is a mental game. First and foremost, I would say. You might think that it's something physical, you just have to get in shape and then it will be easy. But it's much more a mental challenge. There's a challenge of actually keeping up the schedule, like we just talked about. But then once you're out there running, it's also a mental exercise. When you decide to take a pause, for example, and stop running and start walking for a little bit, that's a mental thing. You could run the entire way, but most people don't do that. I didn't do that because I started out running too fast and I didn't have my mental game down. So I would just get overwhelmed and be like, I need to stop. Like my breath is all out of rhythm and my legs are hurting and I'm just thinking about how long I have left of the run and it feels overwhelming. I need to stop. Really the key is to calm yourself down. Focus on your breath, getting a good rhythm of breathing. And another thing that I found really helped me the first couple of times was set these small goals on the way. So I would see a sign, for example, a street sign. And I would just say to myself, just run to that street sign and then you can take a pause. And then when I reached the street sign, I would do that again. I would just set another goal and say, when I reach that red car that's parked over there, then I can take a pause. So instead of thinking about running the entire way, running these small incremental steps and then allowing myself to take a pause if I needed to. But I always felt like when I then reached that goal, I can do one more. Like just one more stretch and then I'll take a pause. And it just kept feeling like that. Like that's kind of the mental advantage that setting these small easy goals has. And so I started running home. I started running some of the way home in the beginning, just taking it real slow, just like not pressuring myself at all. Just like, okay, I'll just run a little bit. And then I just ran for as long as I wanted to and I just stopped and I walked the rest of the way home. The next time I was out running, I ran a little bit further on the way home. And this last time that I went out running, I actually ran in intervals all the way home. So I would push myself to run really fast for 60 seconds. I would count to 60 while I was running as fast as I could. And then I would run really slow for the next 60 seconds and then go back to running really fast for 60 seconds. And that's extremely hard. That's tough to do, but I just felt like it because I just felt like I reached my goal every day with ease. So everything extra that I'm doing is just a bonus. I'm just overperforming what I set out to do. And that's a great feeling. Give yourself easy wins because it really gives you that motivation to do something extra. Okay, so now I've been running and swimming for 30 days. So how do I feel? My goal with this was to start feeling better in my body, to have more energy and to just have a better feeling in my body and also in my mind, being more proud of myself, really. And I have really achieved that. It's actually astounded me, even though I have been in a great shape before and I have felt like this before, I'd kind of forgotten how good it feels. It's really astounding and I can't stress this enough, how much different you actually feel. It's insane. It's like you're another person. And it's only been 30 fucking days. But it's so crazy how much it changes the way that you look at yourself, the feelings that you have every day, and just your feeling in your body. So I guess the question to ask myself now is, am I gonna keep running? And am I gonna keep swimming? And for now, the answer is yes. I'm definitely gonna keep doing it because I love it actually. I really like doing it now. In the beginning I thought it was kind of it's okay. But I also look forward to kind of get back into the old stuff that I'm used to, like weightlifting and stuff. But I think for now I'm gonna keep doing this for some time and then just slowly moving into more and more of like weightlifting and other types of exercise. A clear recommendation, I would say, if you want to start working out, I can recommend trying this. This was really fun, it was something different, and it just really gave me a good start of this journey of getting myself back into a great shape. This was it. This was my 30-day of running and swimming experiment. I feel great. I look a lot better. I've lost 11 pounds. I think I've lost a little bit more at this point. I've also been eating to lose weight, so that's a big part of it as well, and I'll do a video on that as well, what I've been eating for these 30 days to actually achieve that weight loss. But yeah, I feel great about it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. I really hope you guys are getting something out of these videos. I really enjoy making them, and I love having you guys along on this journey. It's kind of motivating for me, actually, to get to talk to you guys about what I'm experiencing and how I'm doing it and what I'm thinking about it. So I think this is really cool. So yeah, I'll just see you guys in the next video.